So I'm Mike Shaw, I'm the VP of Sales for the media team at comScore, and comScore are a digital measurement organisation focusing on the way consumers use digital media. Programmatic is absolutely a trend that is here to stay. We've seen various estimates about the amount of inventory that's now traded programmatically, anywhere between kind of 10 and 60% now in the UK, depending on the type of publisher you are and the speed at which you've adopted the trend. Is it fueling the growth in advertising? Absolutely. Programmatic makes advertising easier to buy and sell. It essentially reduces friction in the purchasing process. But the issue with programmatic is it often blurs the price that should be paid versus the price that is being paid, and the quality that's ultimately being delivered through the medium. And that's really the problem that we're looking at and trying to solve for, is to make sure that ultimately advertisers, and especially brand advertisers, can use programmatic in a trusted way and a comparable way to other media, and that publishers on the other side of the equation get essentially the value that their audiences and their content deserve. The publisher's data and the ability to understand more about the audiences that are behind the impressions about to be delivered is hugely important. It's one of the things that will ultimately drive more trust in the environment, as more digital ads are more effective because they're hitting the right audiences in contextually relevant environments. So we think that the publisher data has a huge amount a part to play. We don't know it'll affect consumer experience too much, but ultimately the biggest factor in all of this ought to be that brands put more and more investment into digital advertising because they see it working better and often faster than other media. So in terms of the big things that publishers are doing wrong right now, lots of it is really not having a well thought out strategy for programmatic. The amount of inventory traded programmatically isn't necessarily set at the right levels. Often it should be more, sometimes it should be less. And secondly, the pricing of which that inventory is traded often leaves a lot of money on the table for the publishers. So a coherent strategy around the value of the inventory they have, and then backing that value up with the data to prove it, is really one of the key priorities publishers should be focusing on. I think that overall the programmatic is going to be very much here to stay. Publishers should accept it as a new way of buying rather than necessarily a race to the bottom in pricing. Companies like comScore are out there trying to provide the data for how scarce quality inventory really is, and that should ultimately drive up pricing across the board and maintain a good degree of value in digital publishing. You're absolutely right, it does have to be done differently and it has to evolve, and the way comScore is really looking at this is to move the data from comScore's proprietary reporting systems into the places that media planners and buyers are actually trading for digital. So comScore's recently announced Industry Trust Initiative means that we'll be putting data around viewability, brand safety, non-human traffic, and ultimately audiences and demographics through trading platforms, the likes of Rubicon, Turn, etc., so that actually when traders are going into the tools they already use, comScore is embedded in that workflow without recourse to them needing to come out and try and reconcile through another third-party system. We really feel that getting that data into the places where clients use it is one of the key priorities for us, and that's where our focus is squarely on right now.